Wake to power, Holy Spirit, your presence. Father, Mother, God, live my entire life into conscious union with you, rooting me daily in the spirit of love, forgiveness, and fullness of joy. Wake to power, Holy Spirit, your presence. In this body temple of me, in which you live, let your goodwill shine forth through my aura, redeeming, consecrating, and perfecting all I see, touch, and relate with. All of the holy thoughts of my Father, Mother, God, take up the wings of the wind, and in the flash of lightning minister as angels to my soul. God, you are the lights, the power, and eternal blessing. In you I live always, and to you be all glory forever. From the center of the universe, within, vastness of my soul, I evoke thee to come forth, O God of all life, all wisdom, all power, all love, and all splendor to flourish for my laudable undertaking. I am one of you, great spirits of spirits, because the fullness of you embodies my soul. Let your power, love, and presence shine radiantly through me, guiding all my ways and divine ambitions to reveal the brightness of your day. Abiding in the center of you, most adorable God, my will and courage are energized by your dream of beauty and power. My ways are full of holy influence, as a good expression to all your divine attributes within me. In union of you, and your power always works through me. Nothing in the entire universe opposes my good. All things work with the fulfillment of my will. The spirit of the air is ministering life presence of God to me, renewing my soul, mind, and body. The spirit of the fire is ministering God's transforming and transmutating grace through me, making me bright as I absorb holy learning from pain. The spirit of the water is ministering God's restoring grace through my life, that I'm ever purified and reborn with the fullness of the God presence. The spirit of the earth is ministering God's stabilizing love through my soul. In the fullness of my Godhead, I'm radiantly perfect in the midst of the element. I successfully create my will to the glory of God. O God, the flame of divine love and wisdom purifies my mind and will. And you have become the health of my soul, mind, and body. All of life is assembled, working for my highest good. And my life becoming the never-ending, ever-revealing glory of your mighty magic presence. I take authority over my life and bless every condition I go through, reveal the greater good in my life. To you, the Father, Mother, God, who is the most holy, who is the vastness of my soul, you praise and glory throughout the ages. To your name be might and power without end. Amen.
Amen. God bless you, Mr. Joshua. God bless every one of you for making time to be part of today's flow service. We are grateful to be back again. And in the same atmosphere, let us remain with our eyes closed. Whilst you're enjoying your breath, I want you to take a slow, deep breath in and release gently. Again, inhale and exhale. Let your body drop its weight. No effort, no control, no performance. just awareness. Feel this. You are not preparing to meditate. You are returning to what you are. Now bring your awareness inward, not imagining, not creating, but noticing. There is a space within you, silent, vast, unmoving. Allow yourself to sink into it. And as you go inward, you expand. This is the paradox. The deeper within, the wider existence becomes. You are entering the womb of creation. Now feel. You are held in a living field, warm, still, intelligent. Nothing is missing here. Nothing is broken here. This is the origin point for identity, for conditioning, for effort. Here, life does not struggle. It simply forms. Now slowly inhale. Hold gently. And exhale longer. Again, inhale deeply. Hold gently. And exhale longer. Each breath returns you to original coherence. Now become aware of anything held in the body. Tension, emotion, weight, old impressions. Do not analyze. Do not fix. Just notice. Now understand. Nothing needs to be pushed out. The womb does not reject. It transforms. So on your next inhale, allow everything to soften and dissolve. No force, only permission. Now inhale. And release deeper. Let the nervous system unwind. Let identity loosen. Let the past lose its grip. Now allow these truths to settle, not as ideas, but as reality. You exist and always will. Everything is here. All is one, and you are not separate. What you are is what you experience. Everything changes, but truth remains. Feel this. You are not navigating life. You are generating experience. Now feel. From this stillness, your body begins to recalibrate. Breath deepens. Energy reorganizes. Cells receive new instruction. You are not repairing yourself. Life is restoring itself through you. Let this happen. Do nothing. Now silently affirm, I release what I am not. I return to what I am. Feel the shift. Now sense a new state emerging. Not imagine, not force. Natural. Clarity. Lightness. Ability. Vitality. This is not something you gain. It is what remains when distortion is removed. Silently affirm, I am clear, I am aligned, I am life expressing itself. Now understand, you are not here to control life. You are here to align with it. The intelligence that forms you knows how to move you. Trust the current. No force, no resistance, just precision. Now gently bring awareness back to the body. Feel your breath. Feel your chest. Feel your hands and feet, but remain connected to the stillness within. Now affirm slowly. Life is alive through me and as me. I am renewed in every moment. I am not separate from creation. I am creation aware of itself. Sit inside in stillness. No effort, no seeking, just being. And so we say it together. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
Or Sunday. Wi-Fi sacred flow. We started to treat the sacred law of balance last week. And as I said, flowing without force, it takes us about 10 weeks, roughly. I try and do it in 8 best I can. If it goes 10, so be it. When I look at the sub things that I want us to capture, it will take roughly 10 minutes. So we'll flow with it. I'm not sure if anyone wants to give us a recap of what we touched on last week. You don't want to talk? Anyone? Or you've forgotten?
You haven't forgotten. For last week, you did talk, was intro. You did talk more on about balance. I think I remember in the first way I learned last week. I learned the phrase, the microcosm of the microcosm. That one is a different. And when I was checking, hey, what's the meaning of microcosm of the microcosm? This one is deep. That is good. So just before I start, this is just so funny. Spencer said that now I was speaking to Spencer, and I know he's going into that point in his life, and I can tell, but he's just refusing to accept the reality. I saw quite anything. And I do have conversation with him. You know, back in the day, we have a conversation. He always back me, oh, but you are saying you're doing it. Now he hardly goes to church on Sunday. And I was asking him, why don't you go to church on Master? You don't go to church on Sundays anymore. And he will be give me the same excuses that I used to give, and I know he's getting there. And I laughed and I said to him, that's what I've told you. But can you sorry, Anopa? And he said, but I want to come home. But before I'm can here. Anyway, yeah. So last week you did talk more on the intro about balance, and I remember you did say that when there's an imbalance or there's a shift in nature, or we give too much potential to one aspect of life, some way, somehow, nature or life finds its own way to restore that balance because life is about balance. Um, you did talk about the fact that uh, things like fear, anxiety, shift or create shift in nature. That nature has to restore at some point. So it's all about balance. And as I was listening, I was just I was just going back to basics, and I was just looking at just the basic things of life, the basic things of life, like the human body. We have right, we have left, and it's for balance. You take magnetic field, we have positive, negative. You can even if you don't go into the deep things of what we are saying, the basic things of life shows how the world needs to be balanced. So as I was listening, saying that the typical example came to mind last week when I went for my course. Something that I do easily. Prior to the course, I'll do bleep test 11.612 easily without sweat. And I thought I was fit. I got to the course. The first thing we did was bleep test. As we were going there, I think the environment, the fear, I was just nervous. I was nervous. I was shaking. My breathing started changing. Like I started breathing sharp and shallow. I couldn't even do 10. I stopped at 9 point something. The energy was gone. And it tells you how too much potential was given in the fear had created an imbalance in my natural way of doing things. I was afraid I wouldn't make it. I was nervous. And somehow, I couldn't do it because of fear. And so it is true. All of life is about balance. And whenever there is that scarcity somewhere, or the scale is not, it's just like a pendulum, it goes like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, until it stops. Or that scale that is like that, and then we have when the scale is on balance, especially those of us who buy meat from the market, they will put some small meat here and then they balance the scale will go. Like, I don't know how they do it, but somehow they will still cheat you. It has to be balanced. So when fear or you put too much desire, anxiety, and it becomes like that, nature will find a way to balance it because nature is meant to be balanced for the good of life. You did make a statement that imbalance always seeks correction. So whenever there is an imbalance in the universe, whenever there's an imbalance in the body, either in the universe, in the body, somehow your body will find means and ways to restore it. So yeah, I think that's what I heard. More on balance and imbalance and how and the right questions to ask. I think you did talk about the right questions to ask and what not to ask. If I got it right, you did mention that the leading questions are not how can we manifest quickly or attain our desires, but where we have given excess potential to create that imbalance. When we realize where you've given that excess potential to create that imbalance, then we will be able to find solutions and means to balance this. All we need to do is when we become balanced, everything will flow as it should. When your life become balanced, when your health is balanced, that's why balanced diet. It is a balanced diet. When it is balanced, you don't need to force yourself. Everything will flow. Yeah, so that's what I heard.
Yep. Yes, rightly so. Talking about questions, I think in the course of the week, most of my write-ups have been around that. You ask yourself the question, why does life resist me when I'm trying so hard? Scenario that he gave. The more anxious we become, the more what we are trying to, let me use the word, attract or manifest moves away from us. When excess potential is exerted, balance forces will move to correct it. That's just how life is made. Whatever we attach excessive importance to, life withdraws it from us, not because life is cruel. Life withdraws it from us so that it can establish equilibrium. Because all of life is in a strive for equilibrium. And it's just the way it is. We can't. There's no getting away from it. When you sometimes it appears that you are at the door, something is getting ready to burst forth, and then all of a sudden it appears to move away from you. That's what anxiety is. The more you try to control a relationship, the more strained it becomes. The more we convince ourselves that we can't live without something, the more it goes pear-shaped. When we build identities, Brightwell's book, Break Free, great book. It touches on some of this from a different angle. Whenever we build our lives, the essence of our lives, the importance of our lives around our identities and our labels and our tags, life begins to constrict us, and events happen to convince us that it's not about any of these identities that we build. So the things that you greatly fear, they follow you. They happen. Because you don't want it, it needs to happen so that it balances the energy of you not wanting it. When you understand this, trust me, you would have mastered something massive in triumphant living. So the very things we worship and we adore, they slip out of our hands. So underneath the surface of our experiences, balance forces. So the universe is not trying to mock you or take the piss out of you, but it's just doing what it does, just establishing balance. See? No, I cannot overly state the point that everything in life is seeking equilibrium. When now we have very hot temperatures, and when heat gathers in one place, the wind will have to move and flow in such a way that you can have some evenness. You know, thermodynamics. So there's not simply physics, it's metaphysics, it's spiritual law. It's what runs the universe. Force creates friction. In like manner, alignment creates flow. Wi-Fi is all about flow. Everything about Wi-Fi is flow. Okay? Because life is fluid. Life ain't static. See? So we need to grasp this. We talked about what balance means to us. We have we gave some definitions. Someone says proportion, equations, right relationship, which means no one part of life is allowed to become a tyrant over the other or to manipulate, abuse the other. They will find balance. Life will find balance. When the people are oppressed for so long, balance. See, when someone appears to, or in a relationship and one appears to be disadvantaged, it's only a matter of time. Then balance forces will establish equilibrium. See, and what appears to be randomness in life is random order. The chaos is even orderly chaos. So when you give yourself too much work without recovery, what will happen? If you're resting without movement, the body will become stagnant, and then balance forces will exert themselves in the, what they call it, in the nature of headaches, exhaustion, irritability, sickness, depression, numbness, and the lot. And these are not enemies; these are just messengers of imbalance. The fact that you have a headache is not a bad thing. It's just your body giving you an indication of what needs redressing. See? I was sharing this. I shared something on Friday. I'm not sure you were on the line. I'm not sure if you heard it. Something that was on my mind that aligns with something that Bishop was trying to bring up. I'm not sure if you heard me. That what if everything in life, everything that's happening to, within, and around and about us is in a bid to expand us to the greatest versions of ourselves? How will we view life and how differently will you live? And I said, even including death. What if death comes to expand you beyond what and who you've always thought yourself to be? How will you view it? How will you receive it? How will you live your life? something worth thinking about. See? Think about it. No, in one stretch we say all things work together for good, but there again, when events happen in a way that we don't appreciate, we threaten, we throw. I mean, you see, we die, the dying apparently is the portal to us meeting being with the Lord. What could be more glorious than being, it was reverted and resorted back to source? Why do we pray against death? Or we don't believe what we made ourselves believe for us to be absent in the body is to be present with the Lord. Do we not believe it? If we believe, why do we? The question for us. Because whenever something receives too much importance in consciousness, that particular thing begins to carry a weight that it was never designed to carry. See, I talked about this, where a job is not just allowed to be a job, but then it becomes your authentication, it becomes the proof of your worth. So the badge that I wear as a scientist, the badge that I wear as a doctor, the badge that I wear as a nurse, the badge that I wear as a prison officer gives me a certain value of importance that makes me feel that if I'm not doing this, I'm not living to full potentiality. If I am not being this, there's something missing from my value. That becomes a problem. That a relationship goes beyond being companionship, or as I call it, a space for nurturing consciousness, but then it becomes a proof that you are lovable, a proof that someone can love you, a proof that you can show how much you love someone. That's base. Where we stop money, I believe that money is an instrument of poverty. Anything that requires money to access is poverty, and poverty, lack, and scarcity that has created. When we no longer see money as a tool, but then we regard it as a proof of safety, without which I don't feel safe, I don't feel secure. We crave and we cry for titles. So I'm having a chat with someone earlier on this morning, and she was scolding me because I've referred to someone without using their supposed title. Where recognition doesn't just stop at being just appreciation, but then it becomes a proof that you exist. It becomes a proof of your relevance in a space. Doctor, so and so, you're not told, and your energies are all over the place. Ministry, so far as ministry, let me use that word loosely, so far as I'm aware, is just an avenue for service. It's not a proof that God is with you, or a proof of anointing, or any of that bollocks that we make it up to be. It doesn't mean any of that. It's an avenue for service. And I don't see it anything beyond that. It's a forum we have created where we can serve ourselves, nurture ourselves, and groom ourselves in consciousness. It's not a place for us to feel, for one to feel more important than the other. He that is greatest amongst you should serve. So for you to come and sit there and be pom-pom free, for people to come and wash your feet and come on, let's grow. becomes dangerous. Because anytime anything, note this, anytime anything in life becomes the foundation of your being, you are treading on dangerous grounds. Not because the thing is bad in itself, but because you have given that thing the weight of God. I am God and there's no one besides me, have no other God but me. It doesn't mean that God is insecure, but you need to understand you cannot make anything your source other than that which sustains life. That is where imbalance begins. Where the very things which are supposed to bless us and serve us becomes the things which define us to the point that what is supposed to liberate us becomes the very thing that contains us and holds us in bondage. Importance. Family is important. Family is valuable. Health is valuable. Your purpose is valuable. Your calling as a supposed minister of God is valuable. Money is valuable. Love, vision, all of these. But when your inner world and your inner constitution says that if my relationship fails, I'm finished. If I lose my job, I'm finished. If they leave my life, I'll be nothing without you. That's the most foolish thing anybody can say. There's nothing I can't live without you. Seriously. It's only nice romantically, but it's just foolishness. What do you mean? When you were born, where were they? You lived your life without them until you met them. What makes you think that you can't carry on living because you're not there? The fact that the door appears shut doesn't mean God or life has abandoned you. It's nothing that you can ever lose that will make you lose yourself. I thought when my sister passed on, I thought that life wasn't going to be the same. Yeah, that was only in my head. We are still here. That's what excess potential, excess importance is. When something in the mind inflates itself beyond its true place in our lives. You are God and you are good. Always remember that. You were using the story of a scale earlier on. You can't put a stone on a scale and imagine in your head that is a mountain. The scale is not going to move because you think you want it to be a mountain. That's what we're doing to our lives. The scale will only react to what is put on it. Let's stop loading our conscience and our consciousness with things beyond what their true value are, what their true valuation is. Because it's just a distortion, and that distortion will create resistance. And then things begin to militate against you, and then you think life is fighting you. No, life is not fighting you. You need to get out of your own way. Are we happy? I'm still doing a recap. So imbalance creates movement, it creates control. Every tension will seek a release. You cannot pull eternally. At some point, you're going to have to go. You can't hold breath in eternally. At some point, you need to let go. Regardless how long you hold it, you will let go at some point. Life is balance. And no season dominates forever. If we are enjoying the summer, it's not going to be summer forever. Regardless how much we love for it to be summer, autumn is going to set in at some point. Consciousness is always seeking balance. That's one thing that we need to understand. And if you understand, balance is a sacred law. Once you understand this, a lot changes. So every time our mind overly identifies with a certain idea, a certain concept, a certain value, the deeper laws of life, the deeper orders of life begins to loosen that identification. Because the ego is turning something that is not God into an idol. That's what idolization is. To think that your life depends on your job. So life needs to happen in a way that will make you now begin to see that which you are creating an idol out of is unstable. So when fear, for instance, becomes excessive, life and circumstances will begin to reveal that instability, and it will expose the fear. When your ego becomes inflated, when pride gets the better of what's called the better of you, experiences will happen around you that will humble you. Look at Nebuchadnezzar. When guilt is heavy on your heart, see, when you feel so much guilty, you begin to look for punishment for whatever you are guilty of in order to ease the guilt. You just wish that something happens to at least balance it so that in your mind you feel like, okay, well, I did this, that's why that has happened, and it gives you that ease of conscience. Because until that happens, the guilt will just wreck you. That's how life is made. And equally true, I've said this on a number of times, a million times. When desire becomes desperation, whatever thing we desire appears to move away from us. It's just simple. It's simple. Because life is always inviting us back into right relationship. And that's the truth, in as much as it sounds difficult. It is the truth. Many of the things we experience in life that we call attacks or injustice is just life seeking correction. Look at the floods. All the abuse that we building across waterways and all of that. It needs to correct, and the system needs to correct at some point. And that's how it corrects. You can't abuse the air forever. You can't abuse the environment forever. It's not fighting back. It's correcting. Now all of a sudden, okay, we need to distill. We need to do this. It's correction. It doesn't have to be like that if we don't load one side, excess potential. We want to build. Leave no space for water courses. Okay, no problem. Let me give you leave. And then it corrects itself. That's how life is. Sometimes the very things we call delay, as we say it cliche, delays are not denial. Yes, it's true. Sometimes it's protection. Protecting you. Many of the disappointments in our lives, so many of the things we call failure in life, sometimes Here's our liberation from the very false impressions and the false importance we have attached to things. I did say last week, I'm sure I did. The question is not why is this happening to me, but what is this revealing to me or in me? What is this? What is this experience trying? What message is this experience trying to convey to me? Where is the imbalance I need to address? That's a better question. What have I made too heavy? Or this is not church message. If this isn't church message, just let me know, because you couldn't have heard a better message than this. What have I made too heavy? What have I made too fine? Or what have I placed? What have I enthroned on what have I placed on the throne of my peace? What am I mistaken for my source? Said, life plays out in a way that, we have got preconceived, predetermined, preconditioned outcomes to things, how we want things to play out, how we want things to pan out. And I've said this with all humility. If things have got to be in a way that aligns with your preference in order for you to feel at peace, you are in bondage. You are no longer free. You've sold your freedom. When your peace is conditioned to things turning out in a way that you prefer, that's not free. And that is when you're going to have the sacred law of balance appear to work against you, because it will be moving itself towards freedom. See? See? That we feel we need to have control over every situation of life. We can't relax because we feel when we relax, something is going to fall apart. I need to control every detail of this. I have to make sure they understand me. And you are obsessed with people getting you. Oh, bro. You are so consumed with securing a particular result in order for us to be okay. The okayness is from what you bring from within you to what is without. Not wanting what is without to align in a way that makes you okay on the inside. It doesn't work. You can keep trying it. You're going to give up at some point. We even bring that into our spirituality, into our prayer. Pray until something happens. Charlie, if I don't push now, hey, who told you? Eh? So in essence, what that means is I cannot afford to be at peace right now. I can only be at peace when the breakthrough comes. Do you hear the deception? You're literally postponing your peace. You are postponing your calm until a certain result is achieved before you can now be at peace. It's deception. It's just one side of the truth that we have exaggerated. Without an unbalanced scale is an abomination. Peace is never the prize at the end of force. If that were the case, Russia and Ukraine will still not be at war. It is the atmosphere from which right action becomes a possibility. So every time your mind is telling you that I cannot relax until this is solved, I cannot relax until this has seen an end, you have already created a bigger problem. because you have made a challenge, whatever you want to see an end to, greater than the peace you have, than the presence that you have within. You have already put to the second place. You are in essence that this situation has authority over my inner state, and you're going to be at peace. So, a better way to look at it, in my opinion, be, oh yes, it's true. This does matter. I accept that this matters. I accept that this is relevant, but it's not my master. I still choose clear, right action. I will do what is mine to do. I'll remain centered. I'll remain grounded, and I'm not going to abandon my center. This won't become another god or another idol. See? And that's the point at which I brought in, I'm not sure if you remember, I brought in the example of standing. Where I'm sat right now, where I'm stood right now, is no different from me being sat on the edge of a cliff. It's still sitting there, it's still standing. It's the same thing, same legs, same ground. The only difference is at the edge of a cliff, your mind begins to import ideas of danger. And now something that you do routinely in your living room, in your kitchen, in your bathroom, without thinking twice, now you are stood at the edge of a cliff, it's become a problem. And then your body tightens. You're talking about bleep test, you do it under no pressure circumstances, you do your 11. The moment it becomes now, your brain is tight. Oh, if I feel there's consequence. And it's something that you have got the ability to do, all of a sudden you are frozen, you can't do it anymore. What changed wasn't the circumstance. What changed was the excess importance or the over importance you attach to the outcome. And it affects it will affect your performance. That's why those of you who are afraid of height, remember the more you were stood at height, when you stood at height, you even feel like throwing yourself down. Why can't you just stand there? If you're stood and you're not moving, you're okay, nothing has happened. But the moment you are on the edge of a precipice and you're looking down, then your conditions begin to go all over the place. You go wild and thinking, what if I trip? What if I fall? And then you're creating narratives, pure narratives that aren't true. And then it begins to dictate your state. One mistake and I'm finished. Then your body tightens. And your imagination is now creating your own danger. What changed? But it's not the act of standing. The act of standing has got no danger attended to it, but the importance you attach to it is what charge the consequence. And that's how many of us are living emotionally, turning ordinary situations, ordinary circumstances in life, turning them into cliffs, turning them into, or giving identities of danger to very everyday normal activities. See? You even dread having a normal conversation with someone because in your mind you have concluded it's going to turn bad. It's not going to turn well. They are going to fight back. It's going to turn into something else. When it hasn't even happened. Jesus said, take no thought of the morrow. For enough unto the morrow is the cares thereof. Take care, be careful for nothing. Take care, but do not worry. Take charge. All our worries, all our anxiety is just your imagination misusing your sacred energy. Let go. Stay grounded, stay balanced, stay centered. You know, when we sometimes, you know, people, you have people worrying and is disguised as they care. No, you need to know the difference. Care acts, worry just circles. It circles without finding a solution. Because it's just impure energy. When someone shows care, they will listen to you empathetically to try to find a solution to whatever the challenge is. But worry will already predict a catastrophe happening and start to react to it emotionally or energetically. It worships and adores danger. It's overly focused on things going wrong, not rooted in presence. You know, as parents, we do this for our children. You can care for a child without turning the child into a shrine of fear. Fearing that this and that, this will happen to them, that will happen to them, that will happen to that, and that will be this, and that will be this. Let go. So, I was sharing this with Bishop Prince the last time. I said that in this space, I call this space of spiritual awakening, spiritual seeking, and all of that, I found another thing. I'm on a lot of pages on social media. I'm on there, so I just want to see how people think sometimes. And then you realize, suppose no judgment, suppose people who are supposedly awakened, turning spirituality into another ego project. It's painful. You have a gardener, a farmer will put seed in the ground. It cares for the seed. It cares about the harvest. It will water it. It will clear the weeds. It will protect the soil, till the soil and all of that, and watch it every season. But it doesn't put the farmer doesn't put the seed in the ground and goes there every morning kneeling to pray, grow now, grow now, grow now. Prove that I'm a good gardener. Grow now, grow now, grow now. It doesn't do that. That's most of us do. We do this in our lives all the time. You plant an intention, and we dig it up every morning with anxiety to check whether it's growing or it's working. That's attaching over importance. And every time you dig the ground to have a look at the condition of the seed, you delay the harvest. A lot of people are talking about surrender these days. But they keep on trying to micromanage the process. Plant. Paul planted, Apollo waters, God gives the increase. Simple. Plant, water, align, act, and just release. And the truth is inherent in every seed is the wisdom for germination, the wisdom of the harvest, the promise of the forest. That is something the farmer might not know, but the seed knows. The seed has the wisdom for its own development. Your intention, encoded in your intention, is the wisdom for its own maturity and manifestation. Then where did that one come from?
When you said that, I just mama said, bro, from the head, I can't to write it down.
I don't know where that came from. Damn, thank you.
Can you repeat that? Oh, it's gone. That is gone.
It's gone. I mean,
you have to go back. I'll go back on YouTube.
Yeah, please go back and capture it for me. Oh God. Ah, lovely. This thing, every time this thing happens to me, like, you know, when you say something, you know what? I'm saying something, but where is this one coming from? The moment I try to capture it, it disappears. So I'm just supposed to relax. The same thing. Relax, just let it flow, and not worry about trying to capture it. See? Yeah. Back. Encoded in this is the wisdom for its own manifestation. The farmer doesn't need to do anything about it, but just to plant, water, till the ground, and let the seed, the intelligence in the seed, do the remainder of the work. That is true of our intentions as well. The seed knows things that the farmer is anxious about. The seed has got encoded intelligence that the anxiety of the farmer cannot override. Oh God, that one is a good one too. This pivots back to pendulums, which you have spoken, you have talked about for weeks and weeks and weeks. Life is full of these: social pendulums, family pendulums, religious pendulums, political pendulums, egregores, workplace pendulums. And we know what pendulum is, isn't it? It's a field, any field of energy that swings and invites you to swing with it. And when you swing with it, you donate your energy to it. So if someone is angry, I can call you right now and tell you something, you love me. I can call you right now and tell you how abusive someone has been to me without you being there. Just by me telling you that and being angry, you can also get angry. How come you do this to you? All of a sudden, you understand, you have plugged yourself into the field and we are angry together. You see how it works? Someone is suddenly afraid and they describe the fear, and all of a sudden, if you are not aware, you plug and you engage with that same energy of fear. See? If you are in a place where there's a culture of obsession with status, suddenly being simple feels like a failure. Think about it this way. You go in a place where everybody's just dry, dressed to very, very high sophisticated taste, and you appear simplistic. If you don't know what you're made of, if you don't know who you are, it will have a way of making you feel less important, less valuable. Everybody is dressed a certain way and you feel short all of a sudden. Pendulums. You are in a community or an environment where people like drama. Suddenly you being the peaceful one feels boring. It feels like you're out of place. So pendulums are always seeking your energy. It's seeking your compliance. Wants you to donate your energy to it. But funnily enough, sometimes too, pendulum doesn't even need you to support it. Your aggressive resistance, your aggressive opposition to the pendulum is also something that serves the pendulum. Now the pendulum is getting stronger because it's got someone who is vehemently opposed to it. I've been there before and I know. When I was so consumed with correcting the doctrines of people. The more you correct them, the more dangerous they appear. Or the more you think you are correcting them, the more dangerous things that oozes out of their mouths. You see? It's not worth it. So it's like you know, we all say sometimes, oh, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. You hate this, whatever you hate is still within your experience. You need to bring the reality. If you don't like apples, if you don't like snakes, you have to create the reality, the presence of snakes in your mind if the presence of the thing is not there, you can't express your hatred or a dislike for it. So your hatred, your dislike, your detestation for things is a reaffirmation of the presence of the very same thing you hate. So life will give you more of those experiences so that you can express yourself in that fashion. That's why the same attitudes in people that we detest, they keep showing up every time. It never ceases, it never appears to go away, because we are so focused on not liking it, not wanting it. And that's what we get. Because the universe is just, it never says no. All the promises of God, they are yeah, they are true, and amen. It never says no. So, okay, Charles wants to express his dissatisfaction with the way Yao is behaving. Okay, Yao, can you give him more of that so that he can have a free expression of his dissatisfaction with your actions? That's what it is. It's too simple. That's why we can't get our head around it. You want it to be complicated, but it's not, because life is not like that. Balance is no weakness. But I believe that balance is our refusal to be recruited by every vibration that is calling our attention. Oh yes, I acknowledge this. I'm not partaking in it. I see this happening. I'm not joining in. I'm not fighting it. I'm not opposing it. I'm just not partaking in it. So the awakened person doesn't become available to every disturbance. Yes, I acknowledge it, but I'm not joining you. If that's why that's the road you want to go, you are on your own. I'm not joining you. They see the swing, they feel the pull, they feel the pull, but they just pause and they just don't participate. Are you clear with me? Am I clear to this point? While I wrap up. There's this inner dialogue that many of us also carry on silently. When I finally get this, I said I'll be okay. When I finally choose, when they finally choose me, I'll feel loved. When the money arrives, I'll feel safe. When I get this job, my life is made. When the ministry grows, I'm so obsessed with Wi-Fi growing. When the ministry grows, I will know that I am called, but my calling is not. Whether even if I complete my life with just 4 or 5 people who listening to me consistently, it does not authenticate my value. It doesn't. It doesn't genuinely. Do I look like someone who cares? Or not that someone who is bothered? I'm not bothered. It doesn't bother me. But when this relationship works, I can finally be at rest. When we can afford to go on holidays, I'll feel okay. It sounds human, and yes, it's human, but it's also a prison. It's essentially you giving your future the permission to hold your present hostage. That's another good one. So I welcome the good, but I will not wait for the good to become whole. I move towards the vision. But the vision is not responsible for my being. I receive love, I give love, but it doesn't determine my worth. I welcome gain, I welcome prosperity, I welcome success. But money doesn't become my God. I honor my calling, I honor my ministry. But the visibility that ministry gives me is not a proof of divine approval. And that for me is the difference between manifestation and slavery. So I need this so that I can become that. But balance says, I am aligned, therefore I just am, and I just move. One is hunger, one is anxiety, the other is authority and freedom. Consider a river. A river is powerful. Water teaches us that. but it does not strain. It does not stand before a river, doesn't stand before a rock or a wall or a dam and scream, move away, move away, move away. It doesn't become offended because the mountain has a shape and the mountain is solid. It does not lose the river, the water doesn't lose its identity. The terrain. The fact that the terrain changes doesn't disturb the water. It bends, it curves, it gathers, it deepens, it widens, it narrows, and it just continues. It always finds a way. It flows. You couldn't have found a better name for this ministry. Flow. Not by panicking, not by arguing, not by trying to prove itself, just by flow. It just flows. And this not being passive, this for me is power. The water is not weak because it's finding another way, or it's finding the path of least resistance. The power of the water can carve valleys, you know. It can nourish countries, cities. It can carry away ships. It can even become a flood when boundaries are violated. But this natural intelligence is movement without unnecessary friction. Flow, understand flow. It will move the path of least resistance. Okay, all right, that's fine. There's a block here, no problem. That I can move around it and still get where I need to get to. All rivers flow into the sea. You can't stop it forever. It will find a way. That for me is power. Not every resistance has got to be broken down. Some you need to move around. Some you just need to just hold your ground until they do, what's it called, and allow them to soak it. Like a fence wall that has been built in the course of water. The water will just dam it. It will just be there. It will just be soaking and penetrating through. The next moment it's on the ground and no more. And the water carries on. Spirit of the gnomes. Power doesn't mean hardening. The highest power I've come to appreciate is fluidity. The most awakened people are not the people who react the fastest. They are those who remain inwardly clear, grounded, and centered enough to respond from the deeper currents. Deep calleth unto deep. Flowing doesn't mean you don't have a direction. It doesn't mean that the obstacle is dictating your direction. It means your direction is not poisoned by desperation. The fact that something is in front of me doesn't bother me. It doesn't throw my energy all over the place. I just I deflect and I find an easier flow and carry on in my path. This is the definition of power to me. It's not avoidance. It means your actions are not dictated by panic. They are not dictated by anxiety. They are not dictated by fear. It doesn't mean you accept abuse or you accept injustice. It means your resistance comes from clarity, not from inner chaos. I'm done. This is sacred balance. You can find your own scriptures to support this. At least I quoted 4. I remember vaguely. I can give it to you. I can give that to you. But again, Maria.
Thank you. That's you, sir. That was life-threatening message. That was good. That was good. That's good. You're hammering on real life practical issues, and these things are practical. We always say, and we don't say it to fill the space or as a cliche. These things are happening. That's when anytime, if you've noticed, anytime I'm recapping, I'm saying something, I give a life example, what has happened to me or what I've been through or what I'm going through. And I do that for you to know that it is happening. The fear, the anxiety, our priorities, sometimes wanting to feel validated, to be able to fit in. Remember when I went back to work, remember after my long paid leave, I had a few people had a chat with me that you need to prove yourself to people that you are not what they thought you were. And I said, who do I have to prove myself to? You think I care about somebody? If you think I'm this, how does that bother me? You've only known me a year. I've only joined this job a year. Before joining the job, who was I? Was I proving myself to you or was I proving myself to anybody? That mindset of you having to prove yourself and feel accepted and be accepted. There's a lot happening that when we are able to keep the balance, it's about balance and flow, balance and flow. Allow the natural course. I think that's all we need. Bless you, sir. This is a deep message. It will take us a while to be able to really understand and catch up with all that you've said. By catch up, I mean because it's practical. What you've said is practical. So you just listening to the message, looking through your life, looking at the things that you are doing, your desire, the things that you want, and how you are living you've led your life so far, and how you want to live your life, and then see where you have to adjust, where you have to allow the flow to just flow, where you need to keep the balance, where you've exerted a lot of potential, where you need to retract a bit, and sometimes, Rev, it's just, I want this, I want that, I want this, oh, all your energy, oh, now I hate this, I don't like this, I don't want this happening, and then you end up having the same thing happening. So yeah, in short, you've just summed up life and handed it to us in our faces. This one in your face. I said, well, it's not here. He will say you've given it to them. This one you've given it to us as a life this was a life companion to have a look and then have a look at what we are doing wrong. Bless you, sir. You are on mute if you're talking.
Sorry, my network dipped for a bit, so I went off for a brief moment. Back. Samuel, Joshua, have you got anything to add?
No, not really, no.
Samuel?
Nah, not really.
I want us to pray. I want you to, at this point, begin to process everything that you've had. Hmm. For us here, this teaching is not merely energetic. It's not just an energetic technique. There's no strategy for getting outcomes, but it forms part of awakening divine identity. The higher self is never desperate. Christ consciousness is not frantic. The indwelling presence doesn't beg for validation. Observe your breath, listen to your heartbeat, feel every pulse. Feel the stillness that's at the center of your being that knows that you and source are one. You and source aren't separate. And from this knowing, from this place, is where all your actions becomes different, they become immersive. There's a place from where your prayer becomes different, where your desire shifts, where your service to humanity, to life, shifts, fuels. With your awareness of alignment and oneness with souls, you no longer see yourself as an orphan to life. You no longer see yourself as someone trying to convince God, heaven, spirit, or the divine. But you are positioned as one who remembers alignment. You aren't trying to manufacture your wealth. But you are one who is expressing the wealth that is already established as your being. You no longer
I think he's gone. This line is gone. May this week be a week of 4 weeks. Or shall I say into a fruitful week. May everything that concerns you, that concerns us, be fruitful. So shall it be now and forever. Amen.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done for me.
Mom, I was watching.
Rabbi, you back?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you want to conclude the prayers, I finished that. But if you want to conclude it,
No, that's done. If you finish, you finished.
okay.
Yeah.
Very offline.
Shalom. Shalom and life to us.
All right. Bless you all. And Rabbi, I'll speak to you later.
Right, bro.
All right. Bye, guys. Joshua, Sam. Speak to you later, yeah? See you both
Bye.
later. Bye.